Let's make lemonade. Let's go to work.
That's the signal. Go, 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 go.
Fix.
It's beautiful.
Mother Nature just pissed her pants, dude.
Wake up and hit the ground running. It's The Rush, presented by Willis Auto, with Travis Justice and Ross Peterson bringing you raw, unfiltered, and unapologetic talk about sports, life, and everything else that matters. No filtered, no fluff, just The Rush.
Willis Automotive powers the Rush Radio Show, and if you're in the market for a vehicle, this is where you start. You got new, you got used, you got certified pre-owned. Willis Automotive has the selection, the people, and the service to make it so easy. No pressure, no game, just a team that knows how to take care of you. Check them out online at willisauto.com. That's willisauto.com. If you're listening on the audio stream this morning at therushradio.com, the Rush Radio Android app, or the TuneIn app, thank you so much. Watching on YouTube, hit that subscribe button. Give this video a like. Start leaving your comments in the comments section. Of course, follow us on our social media channels. Ross Peterson, I mean, do we have anything to talk about today? I mean, is there anything to talk about today whatsoever?
Martin Luther King Day.
That's right. My wife does not work today.
Yep.
The kids aren't going to school. The banks aren't open. Yeah, I mean, what a weekend. What a night coming up. I guess we start with, how was your weekend?
Fast, dude. Really, really fast. Yeah. And filled with sports. Lots of fun. I was thinking that this morning. Like, dude, this is one of those shows we could do. I say dude all the time. This is one of those shows we could do 14 hours. We have so much stuff to talk about. The Bears game alone, we could spend a lot of time on that. Several of the only game that we had one NFL game that sucked. Other than that, we had college wrestling on Friday night. Iowa gets destroyed by Penn State. We had talked about that on Friday. It was even worse than we anticipated. You asked me if they'd get 10 points. They got 3, luckily.
I mean, we put the over-under on the Iowa wrestling at do they win 3 matches? And we all kind of came away going, yeah, they'll win 3.
Yeah. They didn't even, no. So, yeah, Hawks get a nice win at Indiana. Iowa State stumbles against Cincinnati. I didn't get a chance to see that. I didn't get a chance to see a lot of the Iowa State games, so maybe you can kind of carry me through some of that or tell me what happened there. Eli wrestled on Saturday. So
how'd that go?
Saturday he went 2-3. So got a pin, but got pinned a couple times. And, we're racing towards the end of the season here. He's loving wrestling. That's fun to see. It's an amazing sport to watch your kid compete in.
Well, let's start where your first comment came from, and that was the Bears game. That was a late game last night. Caleb Williams doing what Caleb Williams done. Like, you're thinking, can the Bears come back in the fourth quarter again? Can they make that miraculous comeback? That last touchdown pass, absolutely crazy to force overtime. You think the Bears are going to be on the way to the NFC Championship, and then, well, it doesn't happen. It just doesn't happen.
Dude, Caleb Williams, I don't know how much of that to put on him last night. I mean, he also made some plays that kept them in the game.
Yes.
That touchdown in the fourth quarter is an all-timer. He's running the wrong direction at one point, sprinting the wrong direction away from the defense, turns and does essentially like a turnaround jumper 35 yards downfield to Kokomet perfectly in the end zone, who may have pushed off. I don't know. I don't care. It was a great play. But then he also throws the interception at the end of it. And I don't know if that's on more. I don't know enough about the playbook to know what that is. When they showed that replay, it did kind of look like Moore kind of peeled off his route a little bit, but Caleb Williams gets the INT.
And that was after they were already 10 plays into that drive. You're thinking here that, because, LA got the ball to start, had to punt. All of a sudden, Chicago's on that 10-play drive. You're like, they're going to get in field goal range. They're going to win this thing.
I said fourth quarter touchdown. That's a game. That's a game tying touchdown to force overtime.
Yeah, that was with 18 seconds to go
incredible.
in the game.
That's
right.
Right
about running in the wrong direction. You're like, this is like Seneca. It's like visions of Seneca Wallace. Even though Seneca's was a run, you're like, where's he going? Where's he going? And then just wide open. You're like, holy crap!
Truly, Trav. If the sad part of this is whether you're a Bears fan, Rams fan, or just football fan. The sad part of this is because the Bears ended up losing that game, that play's lore in football history goes down a little bit. It gets watered down because they didn't win the game. And they won the game, and that's a game-saving touchdown like that. Dude, it's an all-timer.
That's a great way to think about it. I mean, a play that comes to mind that lives in history is the Immaculate Reception, right? The Steelers, Franco Harris go because they ended up winning that game.
Yeah.
The fact that the Bears win that game or lose that game, that play is now just a footnote in history. It will not be. It will look at it and go, isn't that crazy? Then you go, oh yeah, they lost the game, and you go, oh, it's just a play.
Yeah. I wonder how Bears fans are feeling right now about Caleb Williams. I mean, and about their team and their future. As an outsider, and I've said this, they're my favorite team, but I can't say I'm a Bears fan. I'm excited. I think that the Bears' future looks bright. Now, it sucks right now because you are on the doorstep of the division championship, looking at playing for the NFC title, and you're going home. So it's really hard to hear this right now. I think you got to feel good about the future of if you're a Bears fan, right?
I would think so, because even though they lost last night, there were games that I think in previous years that they were in that they found a way to lose. This year, the Aerosmith song "Living on the Edge" keep popping in my brain with the Bears. Right, they're always living on the edge. It took a fourth quarter comeback to beat the Packers, and they'd come back and win games. When you live on the edge, sometimes you fall off. But I don't know why there wouldn't be excitement for the Bears. The big kick in the balls for the Bears is going to come when the team announces they're moving to Indiana. I mean, that's going to be the kick in the balls.
The Gary Bears.
Yeah.
Everything changes so quick in the NFL. Again, the Bears probably didn't come into this season thinking, and if you're a Bears fan, you didn't watch these last couple of weeks and think we have a Super Bowl team.
That's fair.
You've skated through, like you said, you got by a couple times. You had a little fun ride. I think you look at building on that next year, make it those next two steps, get into the Super Bowl. But tough game, tough way to lose that one when it was so back and forth, and a really fun football game to watch.
I was kind of surprised. I've got a lot of social media friends, but they haven't really proclaimed their Bear fandom like all season long. Last night, my feed was lit up with Bears fans coming out of the woodwork. I'm like, oh, you're a Bears fan? You're a Bears fan? Oh, everybody's a Bears fan.
It's like Hawkeye women's basketball. You were always a fan. You needed something to light the fire. You were always a fan of the Bears. You just needed something to go, oh, yeah, the Bears are on.
Okay, we can come out of the woodwork now. Let's come out from behind the shadows. We can proclaim our fandom.
If you're a Bears fan, welcome them. When people all of a sudden at work are going, oh, yeah, watch the Bears. I'm a Bears fan. Don't do the, you didn't talk to me about the Bears all year. The fan gatekeeping that we're all guilty of. We do it with bands.
Do it with sports teams.
Yep.
The Rams into the NFC title game for the first time since 2001. That was the year they won the Super Bowl. The conditions at Soldier Field last night were not what I'd call ideal, but kind of a fun way to watch football. But yeah, I never thought of it like you just did, in that the Rams come away victorious in overtime. The play that is the best play maybe that we saw. I don't know. I didn't see every play in the National Football League this year, but it is definitely one of the most spectacular ones we've seen this year. Will now just be a footnote. I've never thought of it like that, Ross, how unless you get the win, it doesn't matter.
There's got to be other examples of that. There's got to be other examples of like these amazing, miraculous plays, and because the team didn't end up winning the game, we kind of just forget about them. That was a fun football game. I think Caleb Williams is going to be fantastic, and he is fantastic. They can continue to build around. Travis, you and I said, what are the two things you have to win the Super Bowl in the NFL? Head
Gotta
coach,
have a quarterback.
Got to have a good head coach. Got to have a great quarterback. You have to have a quarterback that can play great and doesn't ever play bad or horrible or cost you a game. And I think that they've got both. I think that Chicago has both of those things. So, but a fun weekend in the NFL, wild weekend. With that one exception, fun weekend of football.
Well, the game right before the Bears was the Patriots and the Texans. C.J. Stroud with 4 interceptions in the first half. The Texans with 5 turnovers total. They also get beat by a score of 28-16 as New England is into the AFC title game for the first time since 2018, also their last Super Bowl win. Conditions in Foxborough were horrible. You had the snow. You had everything. I think there were 8 total turnovers in the game, Ross. And, New England, quarterback, head coach. Just the formula you were looking for. And, they put a stat up yesterday. I didn't know if I agreed with it. I mean, it's factual, but they were like, the Texans, the only team in the National Football League since 1970 not to get to a conference championship game. I'm like, well, hold on for a second. The Texans haven't only been around since when?
Early
2000s?
Yeah, I was gonna say like maybe when did the Texans start?
And I'm like, well, and then I started thinking, well, how do I view franchises? Do you view a franchise or do you view a city? Because I view a city. I'm like, well, the Oilers got there.
Bob McNair founded the Houston Texans expansion team in 1999.
So they were founded, probably started playing in the year 2000 or 2001. Or was it 99 they started?
Might have been 99 they didn't travel. Sure.
Do you look at it as a franchise or do you look at it as a city?
I think it's the franchise. I'm with you. I don't think that's fair to say the Texans haven't been. I don't think that's fair. They've only been around for 25 years.
Yeah, and if I'm a fan base, there's probably a lot of fans in Houston who are Oilers fans who remember being really good, getting the AFC title game. You had Dan Pastorini, you had Warren Moon, those teams
Ernest
that were really
Givens,
good.
They had a receiving core with Warren Moon that was fantastic. Remember Ernest Givens?
Yeah. Hell, Earl Campbell back in the day. And I'm like, well, Houston fans have experienced an AFC title game. Maybe the franchise hasn't. But the fans out there singing Love You Blue. Houston Oilers. Houston Oilers. Houston Oilers #1.
I had to pull up the Houston Oilers Tecmo Super Bowl roster. Lorenzo White, Ernest Givens, Haywood Jeffries, Drew Hill.
So the Patriots now play the Denver Broncos, which is the most interesting storyline of the weekend.
Dude, what a weird one.
What a weird game as the Broncos beat Buffalo in overtime 33-30. On the last drive of the game, nobody knew it. They knew he was injured, but Sean Payton comes into the media room about an hour afterwards to announce that Bo Nix is done for the rest of the season because he broke his ankle. And at that point, Ross, my gut, I don't get that emotional, but I'm like, now I wish I was actually rooting for. I'm not part of the Bills Mafia. I was actually rooting for the Broncos. I don't know why.
Okay.
But then I'm like, well, I wish the Bills would have won because I want the best matchup. I want the best players on the field. I don't want a quarterback that's played like 4 downs all year long to be. Now it could end up being a great storyline.
It could end up being a great storyline. I'm with you. I'm with you that I didn't necessarily want to see the Patriots either. I've seen enough of the Patriots in the Super Bowl. I know Mike Vrabel's a different coach and this is a different team. I've seen enough of that. Denver, that'd be a fun story. I don't think that's going to happen. I think that I think that New England's into the Super Bowl now. Is the line out for the AFC title game yet?
I haven't seen
I haven't
it.
looked at it either to see. I'll see if I can see if there's anything out there yet.
But you've got a quarterback that literally has only played a handful of downs all year long.
Yeah.
The most controversial play in the Denver-Buffalo game was the interception, which was basically a tie ball. Vrabel was upset about it. I don't blame him. I've gone through that I've watched it over and over and over again. Do you think it was an interception?
What a weird play. I same with you, Travis. I watched that thing. It's like a magic trick.
Because one angle you're like, that's a catch. Another angle you're like, that's a pick.
That's an interception. It is like a magic trick. I mean, watching that play over and over, I didn't have control of the remote. So I couldn't sit there. I wanted to just go back and watch it slower and slower because the game moved on pretty quickly. And I think that was part of the concern was like, hey, why didn't we take the time to figure out what this was and get it right? And why isn't there any consistency? Because then as the weekend went on, then you saw all of these internet things of these compilations of different things just like it that are called differently. Travis, I don't know. I really, if you made me decide what that was, I don't know what I would say. I need to. It's a magic trick. I couldn't figure out how the ball ended up in not Cook's hand, and as I couldn't figure out how it ended up in the
defender's
hands. Interesting. I don't know. It seemed to me like it's an interception because he comes away with the ball. The ball never hits the ground. You see the ball go into this mix of two guys, and one of them comes out with it. In football, that means that's his ball.
And that's what I kind of got into. I wouldn't say a disagreement, but we got into this conversation. I was at a birthday party last night. We were just talking about it, and they're like, that was a catch. It wasn't an interception. I'm like, well, hold on for a second. It was a catch when he went up in the air. I'll give you that. But when they came down and they were down, it was basically both of them had the ball in their hands, and the Denver guy comes up with it. And you're like, well, he's the first one out of the pile with the football. It's their football. And they're like, no, he was down. As soon as I go, but is this baseball where the tie goes to the runner? You know, I always hated that.
I always hate that in football when there's a pile, there's a fumble, and there's a scrum and a huge pile, and all of a sudden a Hawkeye linebacker comes out of the pile with the ball and he's running down the field and everybody's and the officials point, Northwestern football. You're like, what the hell? Thought it was a fumble. Thought whoever came up with the ball got the ball. It's a tough play. It's a tough play to call. If you made me call it in an instant, I'm calling it an interception because that's the guy that comes away with the ball. I think you're right, Trav, that when you slow it down and you look at it, he catches the ball. The receiver, Cooks catches, it's not Cooks. I'm sorry. I keep saying that. Anyway, whoever the receiver was, he's got the ball. But who comes away with it? The defender. Wild play. Magic trick.
That's the best way I've had it described to me was a magic trick. It's almost sleight of hand. You're like, hold on. There was.
How did he? What did he?
It's like moving the ball around in the nutshells, and you're like, well, how did it end up over there?
And it's one of those things. It's almost like the Cooper DeJean. There's a little bit of a political angle here, meaning you see what you want to see. Brian writes and says his knee is down, 2 hands on the ball. That's a catch. You're absolutely right, Brian. Like I said, I can't argue with that.
No, there were 4 hands on the ball.
True. And then, I mean, it's again, you're going to see what you want to see there. I don't know that there's a right or wrong call. If you made me come up, pick it, I think that the right thing to do is say it's an interception. 2 guys went up for the ball. One of them came down with it. But again, I'm also the guy that thinks that in a fumble, when my guy comes running away with the football, that means it's my ball. That means it's our ball. And that's rarely the case.
But then Bo Nix gets hurt. And you're like, gosh, I wish Josh Allen and
dude. Yeah, that's the problem, is that it ruins You're right, Trav. We shouldn't instantly just say, well, this means New England's going to win. It's over now. New England absolutely wins because there's no way Denver can win with a backup quarterback.
Does Denver go get a quarterback? That's the big talk right now. They could go get a quarterback. Do they go get a Cam Newton? Do they go get a Phillip Rivers?
The line is out, by the way. What do you think? New England at Denver, 2:00 next Sunday.
I'm going to say Patriots -1.5.
Oh, wow. -5.5.
5.5.
Yeah. And Seattle is only a 2.5 point favorite over the Rams. Yeah, I think New England wins that football game. I'm interested to see what this means. Don't go get Cam Newton.
I think that would be a disruption to the team. You've got a backup quarterback. He's been with you all season. No, he hasn't played. But you don't bring in a guy just to start the AFC title game. If this was the middle of the season, I'd fully understand it. You're into the AFC title game. You just look at your backup and you go, you're our guy.
Do you know who their backup is?
Is it Stidham?
Jarrett Stidham. Be a great story.
A great story.
Jeff Hostetler? No. Jeff Hostetler was a
giant
third baseman. Or he was the giant quarterback.
Yeah, he was the Giants quarterback.
Didn't he get, okay, I was confusing. Dave Hostetler was the third baseman for the Cubs. Jeff no. Golly, Ross, come on.
Come on, Ross. Don't be throwing names at me. I'm great with faces. I'm bad with names.
Dave Hostetler was a baseball player. Good one. Played down here for the Iowa Cubs for a long time. Didn't Jeff Hostetler get put in kind of a weird situation, Trav? Wasn't he a backup that got thrown in one of these situations?
He might have been a backup, to Phil Simms, I'm trying to remember.
Yeah, that would seem right.
Yeah.
Wade says Stidham has 5 starts and he's 4-1 as a starter.
But he hasn't played much this year. Very, very limited action this year.
Very, very limited. Travis, I pull up his season stats. He has 0 pass attempts.
I think he has 4 snaps. And one was taking a knee.
Okay. I don't know what the right answer is here. I don't think that it's you go grab a guy like Cam Newton and say, hey, man, how quickly can you get game ready? How long does it take you to take off that costume, first of all?
Hell, a lot of people are saying Drew Brees.
Phillip Rivers.
47.
Can't they get...
You want to start the AFC title game? Sure. We're going to have open tryouts in Denver for a quarterback if anybody wants to come in.
We're almost to that point in college football where that's going to happen. Did you see that thing that was floating around this weekend with oh man, my brain's not working this morning because it's the day off. It's Martin Luther King Day, so my brain took the day off. The Miami quarterback,
Tua?
No, University of Miami.
Oh, the kid who was at Georgia and then went to...
Did you see the press conference thing with him this weekend?
No.
The reporter is like, so can you tell us what's it like trying to finish up your year at classes? And
oh, he didn't go to Carson Beck doesn't go to class.
Yeah, Carson Beck, that's who it is. Thank you, Carson Beck. He says, classes. I graduated 2 years ago. And he like laughs at it, like, what are you talking about? As he's
going to class?
As he's wearing his University of Miami, the U shirt, right? There's a U, which stands for university. The U, they call it. The U. It's the most awesome, ironic thing that if you can't look at it and go, oh, we busted. The NCAA is a joke.
Now, what you're supposed to be doing, if I'm not mistaken, is you're supposed to be pursuing a master's degree. Like if you are a graduate transfer, you're supposed to be in graduate program pursuing a master's degree.
As Cardale Jones so eloquently put it so many years ago, we ain't here to learn no school.
And the truth comes out.
We ain't here to learn no school.
Did that surprise you?
I think, Travis, it's one of those things that when the quiet part gets said out loud in such a mocking way, you got to see it. He laughs at her. It's not shame. It's not like, well, actually, I'm not actually enrolled in the school. I don't go to class. It's not like that. He looks at her and chuckles. Class?
My job is to play football. I'm getting paid $4 or $5 million a year by the U to get them exactly where they're at. I go to class every day. It's called the film room, and that's where I stay.
Yeah. And listen, we should clarify, because one of our listeners says he's not in class this semester. Again, there is a mental gymnastics that you can easily do here and go, well, no, he's enrolled. He just doesn't attend class right now. That's what he was saying. Do you hear yourself? Do you hear the logical explanation that people try to use? Well, technically, he wasn't lying because, and it's not really that bad because.
There used to be like you had to take a minimum amount of hours per semester to remain eligible. Is that no longer the case?
Apparently not.
I think you had to have at least 9 hours or 12 hours is technically a full-time student.
Irish Hawk corrects me on the Cardale Jones quote. Thank you, Irish Hawk. It's, we ain't come to play school. I come to play football.
I don't need to go to class. Hey, folks, remember to pump it up with unleaded 88. It's cheaper, it's cleaner, and it's a greener fuel choice. Make it the clear winner at the pump. So pump it up with unleaded 88. Happy Monday. It's cold out. It's nice and cold.
Got my warm, fuzzy flannel on. Look at that. I'm warm, baby.
But you can stay toasty with us. We're here till 8 o'clock. It is the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive.
The Rush Radio is now on the free TuneIn app, allowing you to enjoy the show on Apple products and Android Auto. Download the free TuneIn app and search The Rush Radio to take Travis and Ross wherever you go.
This is Iowa Wolves basketball. Fast, loud, right on top of the action. Every play hits harder when you're in the building. Now it can hit even bigger. Win cash in a VIP Timberwolves trip from the Iowa Lottery. Play Cash Frenzy for your chance to win instantly. Didn't win? Enter non-winning tickets into the VIP club for a shot at courtside seats with the Iowa Wolves or a Timberwolves getaway.
Keep your edge with Body Armor Sports Drink. Bold flavors, electrolytes, and hydration that goes the distance. Grab Body Armor before the grind, during the game, and after the win. Body Armor Sports Drink. Hydration that's real and better for you. Pick up Body Armor Sports Drink on your next grocery store run or convenience store trip.
With over 260 beers on tap, El Bait Shop isn't just another craft beer bar. It's the best. Beer lovers know El Bait Shop, 200 Southwest 2nd, Des Moines.
There's a new spin on casual dining near Drake University. Lucky Horse Beer and Burgers. Craveable faves, flatbreads, delicious burgers, frozen cocktails, and a crazy cool vibe. Get to Lucky Horse Beer and Burgers today.
My name's Gary Prosnell, and I'm a residential home mortgage banker for Northwest Bank in Des Moines Metro Market. I've been financing people's homes for over 25 years, and I'm an expert in financing VA loans, FHA loans, IFA loans, and new construction homes. This is my cat Norm. Norm knows football, but he doesn't know mortgage. And that's where I come in. There are a lot of Tom, Dick, and Norms out there doing loans. So don't just trust anyone with your home loan. I'm your local, trusted, experienced expert.
Call Gary at 515-975-6767 or find his profile at nw.bank. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
New year, new ride, and there's never been a better time to upgrade. It's the 2025 sell-down at Willis Chevrolet of Granger with the largest discounts in the area on remaining 2025 model year Chevy. Get into a Chevy Silverado with just 1.9 APR and up to $7,349 in total savings when you trade an eligible vehicle. Drive home a Chevy Trailblazer with 3.9% financing and 90 days with no payment. At Willis Chevrolet of Granger, you'll find family-owned values, friendly faces, and big savings you can feel good about.
Hi, it's Noel. If you're thinking about popping the question, start with a jeweler you can trust. At Fiscus Jewelers, we offer the largest inventory in Ankeny, featuring stunning engagement rings and rare and forever natural diamonds, pre-screened with advanced technology. If you don't see exactly what you're looking for, we'll custom design it together, and our CAD drawings are always free. And when it's time to say I do, don't forget the guys. We offer the largest selection of men's wedding bands around. Fiscus Jewelers, your jeweler for life.
Back to the rush. Strong opinions, weak filters, and just enough sense to stay on the air. It's the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive.
When you're out to buy a new home, make sure to call Gary Presnall at Northwest Bank. He's been financing residential homes for the past 25 years. Gary offers VA, FHA, and IFA first-time buyer loans and conventional and new construction loans, and all approvals are done locally by Northwest Bank. Gary can get your loan approved in less than 30 minutes. It can happen after hours, during the week, and on weekends. Gary's been Iowa's top producing mortgage banker the past 7 years. So give him a call at 515-975-6767. This is the Rush Radio Show powered by Willis Automotive. 515-517-2303 is the number to call if you want to have a conversation with us. Ross, I went bowling this weekend. This weekend. Yeah.
What was your final score?
Well, we bowled 3 games. It's the first time I bowled probably 17 to 15 years, right?
Okay.
First game out, I think I did a 101.
Hey, listen, that to me, that's like going out. I've not playing golf in 15 years and breaking 100.
And then second game, not so good. I think I did an 85 or an 86.
Yeah, that's more like my speed right there.
Then the third game, I did a 135 and left a lot. I did a lot of 9s and 8s on the first roll, but couldn't pick up the spare. Picking up spares are hard.
Are you a hooker?
No, I wish I was. I wish I was a hooker, and I just can't. I don't have the wrist strength.
I don't know what it is.
And of course, a lot of people don't even use the fingers for their balls. I'm watching people on the lanes, and they'll just cup it and like spin it. And I'm like, man, that looks difficult. So they'll like put the ball
with 2 hands. They hold it with 2 hands.
So they got one on top, and they like cup the whole thing, and they walk and just spin it as hard as they can. But I had a blast. I went with Owen and Lizzie and a couple of their friends. But I tell you what I love about bowling?
Drinking.
People watching.
Oh yeah,
people watching.
Yeah.
And I noticed one dude. He just caught my eye because he was the epitome of a late bloomer, meaning he's a total douchebag. This is my first impression. In that he was the kid that got picked on when he's little because he was a skinny little redhead ginger, right? And as Cartman says, gingers have no souls. But then
I bet this kid can fight like a mother.
Oh yeah, now he can because he bloomed late and he discovered what protein shakes were. You know what I'm saying? Where you have that chiseled upper body, massive biceps, and you're like, oh, you got out of school, you got picked on, and you're like, and credit to him, he's like, my life's not going to be this way. So he's there on a date. And he's trying to show off for his girlfriend, right? Like how good of a bowler he is. But what caught my eye, and then I started to analyze him over the body type, was that every time that he picked up his ball, he went full. I think they did this in The Big Lebowski. He would basically kiss his ball before every roll.
He would do the Jesus.
He would do the Jesus. Yeah, and I'm like, really? You're going to kiss your ball every time you roll? Come on now.
He literally kissed it?
Oh, yeah. He would. And I'm like, oh, that just came out of the.
What?
I hope you didn't wear a mask during COVID because that's the most thing coming out of the the ball retriever and all the oils that are on that thing. He would kiss his ball every time before he rolled it.
You've driven the nail in the coffin for me as far as how big of a douche he was.
Yeah, and that's what made him a douche to me.
Travis, don't pick on the kid. How do you know he was picked on?
Because you can tell.
You can tell. Red hair doesn't mean he was picked on.
Oh no, it's just.
But now that you've laid out the full picture, I go, oh yeah, I would have probably made fun of this kid. I didn't make fun of people.
No, don't get me wrong. He was probably, this bowling alley, like 27, 28 lanes, right? And he's probably the best bowler there because, gosh, I wasn't an athlete growing up, but I became really good at bowling.
Going to an alley on a Sunday night and being the best bowlers doesn't mean it's like being the fastest third grader. Doesn't mean anything.
I know.
But I do admire guys that are good at bowling. It is something that I wish I had that skill. It's like watching somebody that can play an instrument or speak a different language, or I'm not good at any of those. I don't know what you call that. I don't
finesse. Is that a finesse sport?
Game of those bar sports. I'm not good at pool. I'm not good at darts. My grandpa worked at a bowling alley. He was like a Brunswick pin setter machine mechanic in all of Midwestern Wisconsin on top of running a farm.
That's a big job in Wisconsin to be the pin setter, right? I mean, that's a big deal.
He almost sold the farm and moved into Madison or Milwaukee because he was so busy doing that but anyway, ended up not selling the farm at that time. Bowling was huge in my mom's side of the family. I was never good at it. John's nailing it. My problem with all sports, golf, baseball, it's hand-eye coordination. And as I like to put it, lack of athletic ability, general lack of athletic ability.
So if I called you and Courtney and said, hey, you guys want to go bowling on a Saturday night?
We'd absolutely do it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And I would tell you before we get there, hey, by the way, if I break 100, I think that's a good 11 balls for me.
I would agree. It took 3 hours. We were 6 of us on a lane. It took 3 hours to bowl 3 games. That was a long. But to me, we were driving home. It was like with shoe rental and everything. It was like $46 for 2 of us. Yeah. I actually said for 3 hours, that's not bad. If we would have gone to a movie, we probably would have spent $46. But we got to spend time with our son, got to spend time with his friends, and I go that was actually fairly. And drink. I had a vodka soda. It was $5. I'm like, that's pretty reasonable for a vodka soda. But yeah, I just started watching people. It's the people watching.
Kissing the ball,
every single roll. And once I saw that, then I had to do my 50-foot psychoanalysis. Okay, what was this kid like as a kid? And then I come up with that scenario. Oh, you've got a chiseled body. Oh, you bloomed late, and now you want to show off for your girlfriend.
Good for him. He's found something he's good at, and he can. Kissing the ball's too far. You could have said that to him. Hey, man. Hey, what's up? How you doing? Hey, you got to quit kissing your ball. It looks really douchey.
Another observation I make, if you're a parent and you bring your kids to the bowling alley to bowl, they put the bumpers up, they get the little ramp, and they're, 5, 6, 7 years old, don't yell at your kids the whole time. Just, I had one guy next to me just yelling at his kids. They get pizza, they get pop, and they're like, just yelling at them. I'm like, okay, you're going to scar these kids. You bring them there to have a good time. Yeah, you're probably right.
Already has.
You're probably right. Yeah, so
I'm glad you had fun. Yeah, I like bowling.
Bowling was the highlight of the weekend. I had my greatest night of sleep in a long time on Saturday and my worst night of sleep last night. It's like really weird. I slept like a rock on Saturday, last night, getting up this morning, and maybe my mind's just preoccupied because I knew we had so much to talk about today. And let's start with the Iowa Hawkeyes at the Indiana Hoosiers.
Yeah.
What a win for the Hawks, 74-57 over Indiana. And I texted this to Justin on Saturday. I go, that's the worst I've seen Darren DeVries coach a game ever. Now, Darren's a part of this story because he's now the head coach at Indiana. And outplayed, outcoached by Ben McCollum big time. Indiana did not look good at all. No, they live and die by the three. When you only hit, 5 3-pointers the whole game? Or they 6? They were 6 of 24.
They only hit 6 the whole game?
They only hit 6 the whole game. Tucker DeVries not looking like a Big Ten player. He's in a shooting slump. But credit Iowa. Indiana had no answer for Bennett Sturtz, had no answer for Tavion Banks, and Sturtz was just slicing and dicing and just ate up the Indiana defense. I mean, you come off the loss to Purdue, which was a tough one. You come off the loss to Minnesota and Illinois. You've lost 3 in a row. You're like, how's this team going to respond on the road? It played like a team that totally blanked out its previous losses. Like they didn't even exist.
They were, and they even talked about it at one point during the broadcast, Travis, about how hard Iowa was setting screens. They just came in and played more physical. They played a better Big Ten basketball game than Indiana did. And we've talked about how size can be a problem for this Hawkeye team, but even against Purdue, man, they fought. They played with them. And then you play against a team like Indiana and you see that they can turn it up and play, not even turn it up. They play physical. I think that maybe one of the things that we should start paying attention to, Travis, is the officiate. And I don't blame officials, but the officiating crews. How tight do they call these games? Because this team, in order to play that, they've got to play that big boy basketball. That's what I saw Saturday when I was watching that game. Was the Hawkeyes have that ability to play that big boy basketball? That was a Big Ten game, and they went in there and punched Indiana in the face. Played more physical. Banks is really good. I mean, again, we talked about the Iowa State team and how deep they are, and we'll get to them and their unfortunate loss, but now they've got so many weapons. We've thought for a long time with Iowa, it's Sturtz. That's true. And it was as Sturtz went, the Hawkeyes went. He was amazing Saturday. That helps the team to a 20-point victory. Dude, Banks can play. They got a couple dudes on that team that can play.
Well, I put this on X. I said at one point I felt like I was watching a Drake All-Star team because you had Connor Enright and Tucker DeVries on one side. You had Banks, Sturtz, Maniau on another, and you're like, this is crazy that these former Drake players are in the middle of this game. What you just said right there about the physical part of the game, I go back to after the Minnesota game where fans were upset about the officiating, and sure, there were some bad calls, but Ben McCollum had, obviously he didn't like the way the game was called, but he took it upon himself to go, it's me as a coach to realize how they're going to call these games, what level of physical, how physical it is, and to adjust to that. And Illinois, they got beat. Purdue, I think they did a good job of figuring it out. And then Indiana, they were very comfortable and I think measured in the way you play in the Big Ten. It's going to be different every single night because you get a different crew, and these crews go from, the Big Ten to the Big 12 to the SEC. They work for a bunch of different consortiums. But once you kind of, what can I get away with? What can I not get away with? What are they going to call? What are they not going to call? You kind of get into a rhythm and go, okay, I can coach to that. And I go back to after that Minnesota game when he just said, hey, I've got to figure out and learn as a new coach in the Big Ten of the way that this is going to be called. Because it's a lot more physical in the Big Ten than it is the Missouri Valley Conference. That's just based on athleticism. But, man, that was an ass kicking. And Sturtz was
fun
so
game
good.
To see.
And there was no – and that's what I was shocked with Indiana with Darren DeVries is – they didn't adjust for Bennett Sturtz. He just kept doing the same thing over and over again. You're like, you gonna stop this kid?
Travis, I don't know what the outside of playing better defense. I mean, Bennett Sturtz, it's not like it's a trick that you got to figure out. It's just extremely fundamental. I keep saying this too all year, and I think every time he has a great game, it reiterates it. There's something about that pace that he plays with. It's like a change-up in baseball. He's not coming at you 100% full speed, racing like a tornado. It is methodical. It's slow. It's bounce passes. It's finding the right angles. It's getting into the lane. It's causing double teams. It's the give and go. It's pick and rolls. It's very fundamentally sound basketball. And I think that is why it's hard. The right way to shut him down is to play really good defense in his shorts. Have one foot in his shorts the whole time. And if you can do that and disrupt him, get your hand on the ball as often as possible, that's how you've got to do it. But he slows down the game. He gets
you to play at his pace.
Yes. And when he's doing that really well, like he was on Saturday, he's fantastic. That's what it was at Drake. I saw that all year last year as well. It just was a different pace.
What I like about Bennett Sturts also is that nothing phases him, right? I mean, even when things don't go his way, he has that facial expression of confidence, never frustration. Not saying he's never frustrated, but he's got a really good poker face, meaning he's like, okay.
He's steady.
Yes, it's steady.
Yeah, I don't look at him and go, look at this. Look how confident this guy is. I just look at him and say he's never rattled. There have been times. We've seen games where he wasn't playing that with that pace, where he did start to try to play a little faster and put a bit too much pressure on a possession. And occasionally that does happen. But for the most part, he's steady.
What makes him so dangerous, as I was watching, is he had a lot of easy layups, a lot of dribble penetration scores. When that happens, you're like, okay, I can't let him dribble penetrate. Then he's going to bust you from the three.
Yeah,
it's like pick your poison, and he's already in a rhythm. You're not going to stop him.
It's exactly what I'm talking about. He's got a lot of the different tools, and then as soon as you say, all right, we got to bring some help in. Once he gets inside the arc or gets into the paint, bring help over. He's really smart about identifying that help, getting a nice bounce pass to a guy cutting to the basket. So that was fun game to watch as a Hawkeye fan, because not only do you win handily, needed that win, didn't want to see 4 straight losses on the board, needed to show that they're a really good basketball team. Travis, we're far enough into the season now, the measuring stick thing, we should know this is a really good basketball team. They're on the verge of being a top 25 basketball team, and they're a tournament team. A lot of work to do between now and then. As we talked about, this schedule, it's tough, and you're going to have to
get Rutgers tomorrow night.
You're going to have to get into that 19-20 win range to secure your spot, and that's a lot of tough work to do. But again, win that game on Saturday, beat Indiana at Indiana. Here we go. That shows where you are.
Iowa State, on the other hand, and listen, I walked into a party last night and said, like, you jinxed him. I heard you talking about them being a Final Four team. Listen, I still think Iowa State, the only thing that happened over the weekend, losing to Cincinnati, which is a bad loss. You can't look at it any other way, but it's a bad loss. Is this a bad team? No way. This team is still pretty darn solid. If anything, they fell off a 1-line to a 2-line this week. It'd be interesting to see how far they fall. They were number 2 a week ago. They lose 2 in a row. You lose at Kansas. That doesn't hurt you as bad. Losing at Cincinnati is the one that's going to drop you farther down the line. Do you think they're 6, 7, 8, 9 today?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's somewhere. That's the range.
I think
right?
that's fair to say in that range. And I mean, if they're as high as, it wouldn't surprise me if they are anywhere in that 4 to 9 range. And again, a lot to figure out yet. Plenty of time and plenty of opportunity in this Big 12 to play your way back onto that 1 line. I think you're right. When the bracketology stuff comes out, I'm sure there's out already. When the top 25 poll comes out, I think they're in that range, 6 to 9. Sure.
I'll disagree with Tyler. Iowa State wasn't even in that game. Yes, they were. Meaning they were down early, got within, 4 or 5 at halftime. They got within 2 in the second half. They just couldn't deliver the knock. They just couldn't get over that hump. They were in the game at times. When they did get in the game, they couldn't get past that plateau. They got to a certain level, and they just couldn't go any higher. They got back into it, but just couldn't pull away. Rallied late, but that comeback fell short as well. They trailed by as many as 17 in the second half, but got within 2.
Wow.
And, what does Iowa State thrive on Ross, thrives on its defense, forcing turnovers. I think Cincinnati only turned the ball over 8 times. Well, if you're only turning the ball over that many times against Iowa State, you're probably going to be in the game. You might win the game. Iowa State needs to force turnovers, create steals, score off those miscues. They just weren't able to do it against Cincinnati. But if you're asking yourself if it's just a loss, but it's a bad loss. I mean, Cincinnati lost to Eastern Michigan earlier in the year.
Cincinnati's not good. They only had one other they only had one Big 12 win. It was against Colorado. But Trav, which game did you just say? Because I looked at their schedule earlier. There's some shot. I mean, yeah, no reason to break it down, but Cincinnati has not been good.
That was their signature win. That was by far their best win of the season. Wasn't even close. Momcilovic had 34? Lipsy was held to 7.
They just didn't get to see that one. And I don't think there's anything too much to take away from this. And we could talk about this, but I saw somebody say this earlier. This is from Chris. He says, this is the 3rd year in a row this team has done this. What's up with this time of year?
Happens to a lot of teams. You get to a certain point in the season where you hit a lull. You just do. I've seen it for 40 years in college basketball. You could have teams that just kind of go on this, and you'd rather have it happen now and get your second win than have it happen in March. Because I've seen teams tank in March like, we didn't see that one coming.
I think this is also important clarification also. Iowa Norseman writes in and says, bad losses only matter to bubble teams. Only matter on that make or break thing for bubble teams. And again, I don't think this thing comes back to haunt them in any way. But when they're giving you their explanations for why Iowa State is a 1 or 2 or 2 or 3, this is the type of thing it can get brought up. I'm with Norseman. This is not a fatal loss. Doesn't mean that you're out of the Big 12. Doesn't mean that you're racing towards the bubble. We're talking about a 1 or 2 line here.
Yeah, that's what we're talking about here. Assuming that if they go like the Iowa State women who've lost 5 in a row, then the narrative changes. I don't think we see that happening with this Iowa State team.
You said Iowa has Rutgers coming up tomorrow night, right?
Yep.
And then tomorrow night, Iowa State hosts UCF.
Yeah. You're going to watch an Iowa State team tomorrow night play with anger, play with a purpose. They're going to walk with a purpose tomorrow. I promise you that.
So that's Iowa State with a tough one over the weekend. I mean, I would almost even say like a bit of a surprising loss because I did think that they would come back angry after the loss.
I was very surprised by it. I mean, I know playing on the road is tough, but I was surprised that they got beat. Yeah. That was just based on Cincinnati's record, who they lost to, who their wins were against, which weren't good teams.
Man, I had this up earlier. Since we're talking about it. I don't mean to pour salt in the wound. I really don't. Their wins this year, again, before Colorado, here were their other wins. Lipscomb, Alabama State, Tarleton State, the New Jersey Institute of Technology, Mount St. Mary's, Dayton, Georgia State, and Western Carolina. Tarleton State?
Out of Texas. That's where Billy Gillespie's the head coach now. They are like 11-8 on the season. They're in the WAC. They're on a 3-game losing streak.
The New Jersey Institute of Technology Highlanders playing out of the American East Conference. That's where UMBC is in.
University of Maryland, Baltimore County.
Yeah. Vermont, Bryant, and Maine. If you didn't know better, this would sound like a good conference because New Hampshire, that's a full state. Vermont, that's an entire state.
The Catamounts.
Oh, Albany is in the American East Conference. Look at that. Boy, they play in gyms that look like it's AIB.
Tom, I don't disagree with this. He says, Cincinnati is a non-NIT embarrassing loss. This team is fully healthy, no excuses. I don't disagree with you. That's why it is a bad loss. You'll get no pushback from us. I probably should. TJ would probably say it's a bad loss, but you have to move on from it. You can be a great team and have a bad loss.
Look at the New Jersey Institute of Technology. They've had bad losses. They keep rolling.
I didn't even know there was a New Jersey Institute of Technology. That sounds like DeVry University. Really, I know Tarleton just because I knew Billy Gillespie was the head coach there.
That's really cool that you knew that. I didn't even. I could barely say the name of the school. I feel like that's the first time I've ever seen Tarleton State. Tarleton.
I mean, really, of those wins, the ones you really only heard of were Dayton.
Georgia State because of other reasons. Lipscomb.
Yeah, but you look at those are like wins that you buy, right? You're
Exactly.
like, okay. Yeah. Dayton, you go, okay, I get that. They're in the A10. Decent team. Good history.
Tough loss. Move on. Tomorrow night, go get UCF. Rinse it out. Start it over.
A must win tomorrow?
No. You're still not in that category yet. I mean, if you lose tomorrow night, then now we can have a conversation on Wednesday of like, oh shit, that's 3 in a row. Now you're starting to mess with my emotions.
Yeah.
Now you're going to start talking to me about this team being on the 2-3 line, and I had hopes this team being a Final Four. So it must win in that sense of righting the ship, getting some people to not worry. I don't know. Maybe Iowa State fans could weigh in on where they're at with it. It's a crappy loss. I don't think you take too much from it. You look at it and go, oh man, this time of year is tough. This time of year is tough for everybody. It's just it hard to get up and go, hard to travel. And these guys have been moving around a lot and playing at a really high level, big target on their back. Lots of excuses there. I'd say just slow down and get right tomorrow night.
That you just brought up a good point, and that is you got to learn to play with the target on your back. Losing at Kansas is one thing, but understand that you were still the number 2 team going to Cincinnati, and you're going to have a target on your back when you're ranked that high, and they didn't respond during the week they were number 2. Hey, if you follow us on X, Facebook, or Instagram, you'll see a picture I posted this morning of Nick and his family holding their Iowa Lottery scratch tickets that they won from the weekly Woohoo. Of course, the weekly Woohoo comes up every Friday on the Rush Radio Show, and we're going to have it, besides calling, we're coming up with a new way for you to submit your weekly Woohoos. It's going to be on the website. Once it's up there, I didn't check this morning to see if it's up, but if it is, I'll kind of go through that. But, of course, the Iowa Lottery wants you to join the frenzy. You can win the Iowa Wolves courtside seats or a VIP experience with the Minnesota Timberwolves, including watching warm-ups courtside, plus $1,000 cash and a night in Minneapolis. It's going on right now from the Iowa Lottery and open for your entries. Non-winning Cash Frenzy tickets could be entered into your Iowa Lottery VIP club account for a chance to win. Courtside seats to an Iowa Wolves game or a VIP Lotto Zone courtside experience at the Iowa Wolves is available, and all entries not selected as winners will go into the grand prize drawing for a Timberwolves VIP weekend package. It's the Iowa Lottery and the weekly Woohoo. Good to have you here on a Monday morning, cold Monday morning. It's the Rush Radio Show powered by Willis Automotive.
The Rush Radio is now on the free TuneIn app, allowing you to enjoy the show on Apple products and Android Auto. Download the free TuneIn app and search The Rush Radio to take Travis and Ross wherever you go.
This is Iowa Wolves basketball. Fast, loud, right on top of the action. Every play hits harder when you're in the building. Now it can hit even bigger. Win cash in a VIP Timberwolves trip from the Iowa Lottery. Play Cash Frenzy for your chance to win instantly. Didn't win? Enter non-winning tickets into the VIP club for a shot at courtside seats with the Iowa Wolves or a Timberwolves getaway.
More Iowa in the Iowa tap room than you may realize. Housed in a building nearly as old as Iowa itself, the Iowa Tap Room greets you with a harvest of 120 Iowa craft beers on tap from all corners of the state. And the food doesn't get much more Iowa than this. The Iowa Tap Room, all Iowa beer, one amazing place.
There's always something new at Fong's Pizza and an ever-changing menu of tiki drinks. Or try our new noodle dishes alongside your favorite slice. It's all happening at the new Fong's in the East Village.
Thinking about buying a home? Get pre-approved in 30 minutes with Gary Presnell at Northwest Bank in Des Moines. Gary offers first-time home buyers programs, VA, FHA, IFA, and conventional loans. Call Gary at 515-975-6767 or find his profile at nw.bank. Member FDIC Equal Housing Lender.
Start spreading the news, cause it's time to buy booze, and there's only one place to be. You can see all your friends, the good times never end, unless you're just loitering. It's Central City, we can make your dreams come true. No guarantee your dreams will come true. Central City, all this booze is waiting for you. Look at all this booze.
A fuel choice that even rivals can agree on? Now that's worth the hype. Cheaper, cleaner, and homegrown. Pump it up with Unleaded 88.
Your vehicle depends on one thing every time you turn the key: your battery. Most modern vehicles have over 50 ECUs to run the electronics from your engine to your heated steering wheel. For the month of January, come see us at Willis Chevrolet of Granger for your free battery test. If your battery is needing replacement, mention that you saw this video and receive $25 off a new Sunoco battery installed in our service department. Don't get stranded this winter with a dead battery. Call us today to schedule your appointment, or you can schedule online at willischevy.com.
For the holidays, bring real taste to the table with Gold Peak Real Brewed Tea. Made with real tea leaves and real cane sugar, Gold Peak delivers a golden, brewed for taste flavor that makes every moment more meaningful. Whether you're gathering with family or friends, celebrate the moments that matter the most, because real connections deserve real refreshment. For your upcoming holiday celebrations, choose Gold Peak Tea and bring real taste to the table.
Like a rash you thought was gone. Travis and Ross aren't contagious, but they are addictive. It's the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive.
Championship teams are built on consistency, and so is Willis Automotive. That's why they power the Rush Radio Show. From sales to service, they show up every day ready to deliver. So before your next big purchase, do your homework at willisauto.com. Willis Automotive, driving the show, driving your next ride. If you're listening on the audio stream at therushradio.com, the Rush Radio Android app, or the TuneIn app, thank you so much. Watch it on YouTube this morning. Go ahead and give this video a like. Subscribe to the channel. That'd be a big, big help. And, of course, you can leave your comments in the comments section and follow us on our social media channels. 515-517-2303 is the number to call. Happy Martin Luther King Day, Ross. Do you have to work today? Are you off today?
We're doing this. I'll be doing real estate stuff today. Absolutely. Yeah.
You know, with a lot of people off, do you do like more showings on like these days? That
no, Trav, I'll tell you what the number one for me. I shouldn't speak of like I'm 7 years, 7 years into this thing with 100 deals under my belt. Weather, it's temperature. When the weather is nice, when like these last couple of weeks, man, it's been wild for winter. How many people are still out moving around? I've got a house in Grimes that been waiting all winter for people to show up. All of a sudden, people in droves are going over there. The phone's ringing with buy. It is temperature to me more than anything. If the weather's nice and people want to go look at houses, then we're out looking at houses. When it's cold like this, nobody wants to move. You look out the window and you go, nah,
I'm out.
Staying inside today.
How do you want to go look at a house? No, don't want to look at a house today.
No. So had a new one happen to me yesterday. Or Saturday, I'm at Eli's wrestling tournament, and one of my listings, I had a showing on it, and the agent calls me and says, "Hey, all the smoke alarms are going off in this house. It's a vacant house. My guy,
all the batteries dead.
One of them, they're linked together."
Oh,
they're linked together so that when one goes off, they all go off. Because she called, she's like, "We can't even go in the house. Like it's deafening. You can hear it in the driveway." So I called my seller. I'm like, "Dude, the smoke." She said, "There's no smoke." I went inside. There's no fire. But so anyway, my seller went over there. He's like, "Yeah, one of the batteries was going bad, and they're all linked together, so they were all going off."
And that sets a tone probably in the people who are getting ready. I don't want to look at this house.
They are going to come back, they said, so it didn't ruin it, but those are hurdles, definitely.
That would scare the crap out of me as a realtor. Hey, Ross, your smoke alarms are going off.
I did. That's my first thought was, there, we got a fire. Oh my God, we have a fire.
Dang. So tonight is the night, folks. The college football season will come to an end. It comes down to two teams. The Miami Hurricanes out of the ACC, the Indiana Hoosiers out of the Big Ten Conference. Indiana, 7.5-point favorite, and I would call the sentimental favorite nationwide, right?
Oh, no doubt. There might be a group of people, Trav, that see Indiana was a top 5 team last year. They've been a top 5 team all year this year. They're blowing out other teams. They're undefeated. They're the favorite tonight. But I agree with your sentiment there that nationwide, it's still Indiana football. And 90% of college football fans still hear that and have to chuckle a little bit. So I think that everything you said there is still true, that until they actually raise a trophy above their head and Indiana is etched as the national football champions, it just is. They're still that Cubs lovable loser until they're not.
You have really interesting storylines because two teams with unconventional paths to the national title game this year. I mean, Indiana just being Indiana for everything you laid out. Miami not winning its conference, not playing in a conference title game, getting one of those at-large bids over your conference champion, weren't even supposed to be here, gets all the way to the title game. You have Carson Beck, who took Georgia to the national title game, transfers through the transfer portal, doesn't go to class, but still gets Miami to the national title game, gets to play at home. Carlos Mendoza is now playing for Indiana, who grew up in Miami, wasn't even recruited by Miami. So many storylines here, which make it intriguing.
Let's flip and go. I'll be rooting for Indiana. I almost said Miami. I'll be rooting for Indiana tonight. Did you see, by the way, I know you're not a Saturday Night Live fan.
I'm not a Saturday Night Live fan.
I still
used to be.
I still love SNL. I think it's fun. Cam Patterson is one of their new. He was on Kill Tony, and now he has launched from Kill Tony as a stand-up comedian doing 1-minute segments onto SNL, onto the cast. And they did during Weekend Update. They said, "Hey, let's get a preview of the national championship game from Michael Irvin," and he came out and all the same things we talked about. "Michael, you look really good for 60 years old. What's your diet? Mostly cocaine?"
Yeah, that's probably the one thing I'm not looking forward to tonight is seeing Michael Irvin on the sideline in Miami doing Michael Irvin things. Do you think it is a 50-50 crowd tonight? Miami's playing at home. Do you think it's a 50-50 crowd? Do you think it's more Indiana?
It might be more Indiana. I have no idea what to expect, but I do think Indiana fans are traveling in droves. It's got to be tough, though, because you've already had one road trip to Pasadena. Not road trip.
I think they're all mortgaged in the house. They're like, screw this. This is a once-in-a-lifetime thing. This is it. We've never been here. We're going to enjoy this ride as far as we can go. Screw it. We're going to go into debt.
Yeah.
Visa, MasterCard, Amex, Discover, we're racking them all up. You probably have Indiana fans who can't find a hotel or like, screw it, we're going to live out of the car. I bet if you went down there, you'd see people living out of a Suburban and Tahoes. Do anything to be a part of it.
Any idea what ticket prices are here? I'm just trying.
I don't.
That ESPN thing that gives us the tickets as low as says $425. I'm shocked by that. I actually thought it would be more than that. But it's $1,000. You want to take your son, you want to take your girlfriend, you want to take the wife. If you want to take your girlfriend and your wife, that's $1,500.
Somebody in South Florida is doing that. Okay, you're in section 105. I'll come visit you as I say I'm going to go get a beer.
So Tom, I think, put Iowa or Iowa State fans can do this right now.
Yes.
He wrote in, he said, Ross, replace Indiana with Iowa. How much would you spend to go to that game? Tom, probably more than I should. More than I should. That's a really good point.
Would you be shocked if we're sitting here tomorrow talking about Indiana getting beat? Because you wouldn't be.
No, I wouldn't be shocked. I would be. I think Indiana is an all-timer team. Watching that semifinal, I sat there and thought, man, if this team does go undefeated, we have to wait and see what these guys do in the NFL. But, man, this has to go down as one of the best college football teams I've seen in my life.
Well, I think recency bias. I thought so, too. And then I just started doing some homework. The best college football team you've ever seen in your life is the 2021 Miami team. It is just Google the 2021 Miami team to see the number of players that came off of that, and you're going to go, oh. That team beat Nebraska in the Rose Bowl for the national title, but the number of players and that was on that team is.
Are you talking about? You said 2021? You mean 2001
or I'm sorry, 2020.
You said 2021. I'm like, I
sorry.
I googled it. I'm like,
I get my years mixed up. There's a 2 and there's a 1 in there. I screwed that up.
Travis, that's so good because I pulled it up and it's like, that was my Coach Manny Diaz is dismissed on December 6th, and I'm like, I don't.
Okay, go to 2001. I got
2001. That's the team with like all of those NFL. I mean, Hall of Famers.
Yes,
bunches of
loaded. That's the best.
I wrestled at Ankeny this weekend. It's funny. Tyler says this. I was at. I love walking around looking at the Hall of Fames and all that stuff. It's one of my favorite things to do to kill time. Todd Severs. He was on that team. The kicker from Ankeny. He's in their Athletic Hall of Fame.
But how many draft picks were on that team? Did you bring it up by chance?
Hold on, I'll get it because I'm still on the 2021 Miami Hurricanes. Not as impressive.
You're right. Good correction. We didn't have to wait for Justin on that.
Let's see here. I could probably just pull up their roster. Sorry for this. Efforting. Okay. Let's see the U. Oh boy. Willis McGahee starts it off. Andre Johnson at wide receiver. Dude, Ken Dorsey was their quarterback. I remember that name. Todd Severs, their kicker, as we talked about. You got DJ Williams, a linebacker. Ed Reed playing free safety. Sean Taylor at D-back. Clinton Portis at running back. Dude, this team is stacked. Philip Buchanan at cornerback. Frank Gore in the backfield as well. How many NFL running backs did they have?
A lot.
Holy cow.
So I use ChatGPT to throw in the best college football teams of all time. Number 1 is the Miami Hurricanes.
2001 Miami Hurricanes?
Yes.
Okay.
Average margin of victory, 32.9 points. Opponent's average rank, top 10 strength of schedule. They had 38 total NFL draft picks, 17 in the first round.
38 NFL draft picks and how many first round?
17. Now, they didn't all go in that same year.
Obviously,
but
right.
Yeah.
17,
but 17
guys.
first rounds. The 95 Nebraska Cornhuskers, number 2.
Okay.
They averaged 50. That's Tommy Frazier, Lawrence Phillips.
Yep.
They averaged 52.4 points per game. The average margin of victory was 38.7 points. That's the highest ever. They beat Florida in the national title game 62-24. Oh, by the way, they only allowed 14.5 points per game. Alabama in 2020, number 3. LSU in 2019, number 4. USC in 2024, number 5. But just based on the number of players, draft picks, that 2001 Miami team, and that's why I sit there and go, the recency bias and the way that Indiana's done this can influence your decision making.
The crazy stat of the day, 2001 Miami Hurricanes were so dominant that if the offense had scored 0 touchdowns, the team would have gone 8-4. The defense scored 50 touchdowns.
50?
I'm sorry. The offense scored 50 touchdowns. They went 12-0. If the offense had scored 0 touchdowns the entire season, the team would have gone 8-4. Eight times the defense and special teams outscored the opponent. Yeah, that's crazy. That's that I give that. You're right.
We're all guilty of it.
I did watch Indiana last, and I did. The thought occurred to me: if they go undefeated, they end the season this way. You've got the Heisman Trophy winning
quarterback.
They have been fantastic. They have highlights left and right, dominating teams, dominating good football teams, really good teams. I think, man, you're right. It's recency bias.
You remember, because they needed some luck to beat Iowa. They needed a lot of luck to beat Penn State. So they've had close games, but it's the way they've gone through their games in the playoff where you go, oh, this team's pretty solid.
Yeah. I'm glad you had me pull up. I'm really glad you had me pull up that 2001 roster, though. That was fun. That was a fun little ride to look at. A name at the bottom of that, Trav, was Jeremy Shockey. Remember Jeremy Shockey, the tight end? Had a great career with the Giants, but he was an animal in college.
The thing that I'm not going to buy and I can't buy into is, Carson Beck's been there. The U can handle this because Miami hadn't been there since 2001. Can one of the all-time losingest programs handle the limelight? If playoff game number 1 in the Rose Bowl didn't convince you, and then if the Peach Bowl didn't convince you, I don't know what is it. I mean, Kurt Cignetti doesn't. He's got these guys. I will say this. For a team that's played against the odds, meaning, sure, you've had programs, Nebraska, Miami, Alabama, even when they get there, I mean, they had that blue book. There's a swagger to them, right?
Yep.
Miami didn't have a swagger till a year ago. I don't know if I've seen a coach have a team dialed in, like not caring about the noise.
Did you hear his quote before? Oh, man. I don't think it was the Rose Bowl. I think it was actually before the Big Ten championship. Man, Trav, I wish I could remember which game it was, where they were talking to him about the history. These programs have played 42 times, and Ohio State's won 53 of the 43 matchups. You know what I mean? Like, they've dominated you. How do you go about this? And he turned and looked at the reporter and he said, none of these guys played in any of those games. He's got that attitude of what does history matter? We're out here.
A great quote. I wish he would have said it. Says, to me, Indiana football history started in 2025 or 2024.
Right. When I showed up, He kind of has that attitude of like, none of these guys have played in any of those games. That team's never played this team before.
But we're all guilty of that, right? I mean,
absolutely.
That's where the word blue blood comes in. I mean, you sit there and go, well, because you have a storied history, you thrive off that history. But if you have a losing history, well, you should just be a loser all your life. It's not fair. I like that this is a non-traditional team playing for a national title. I will tell you, I'm rooting for Indiana. I want them to win. After that, the storyline's going to get old for me.
Chiefs, Cubs, Red Sox. You get one time. You get one time to be this darling, lovable loser, pat on the top of the head. Good job, man. Way to go. It will be win tomorrow.
Because they're going to come out odds-on favorite to win the national title next year.
And tomorrow we'll be like, all right, I'm sick of this Indiana story. Cincinnati's kind of a prick, isn't he? Because let's just play this out. They do win tonight. Kurt Cincinnati's on that stage tonight. He's got that Michael Jordan thing about him. I think, at least. Maybe tonight we'll see a different guy. He's got that Nick Saban, never satisfied. I'm always working for the next thing. And huge chip on my shoulder because you guys didn't see this coming. There's a part of me that will be looking forward to that tonight when they put the microphone and say, Coach, it's an unbelievable story. You're standing here tonight with an Indiana logo on your chest and a national championship in your hand. How does that feel? And he's going to say, I'd just like to give the middle finger to everybody that's not wearing an IU logo right now. You all suck. We're going to kick your ass again next year. Get ready.
That wouldn't surprise me if you said, if you don't think we're coming for you next year, buckle up. These guys are going to enjoy it, but we're getting back to work because we like the way this feels.
By the way, all you kids in the portal, you want to win a natty? Wait for the phone to ring. I'll be on the phone on the plane.
It's a little premature to ask this question, but I'm going to ask it. If they win, greatest story we've seen in college football for a team?
What's second?
I don't know. I just don't know.
Boise State. I'm not like.
I mean, Boise State beating Oklahoma in a BCS game was great, but it wasn't for a national title.
That's why I'm saying this is. I hate those cliches of like, oh, by a mile. It's not even close. What's the best college football story you remember of our lifetime? I mean, you can do personal level stories.
Yeah,
you know?
I'm thinking as a program.
As a program.
I mean, Kansas State is right up there, but they never got to this pinnacle. They got close, but they didn't. I mean, Bill Snyder did a great job of turning around what was like Indiana football back in 1989 when he took over that program.
Baylor? Would Baylor be? I mean, I think that Baylor, we kind of, because of the way it all ended.
But never won a national title.
Never. I'm just asking. I really am just trying to throw out some options here on, of our lifetimes, what's the best college football program turnaround story? K-State is a good one with Bill Snyder. Art Briles at Baylor is a good one. Neither one of those got to this level. And I think you could even say neither one of them were in the condition.
No.
Baylor was bad. Baylor was a doormat. You would be better at this, Trav. You'd be the type of guy I would call. If I were having this conversation with other guys, you'd be the guy I would call and say, what's the best college football turnaround story you can remember? Washington State? No, not even that, because you saw talent there.
Yeah. But never to get to this level. That's why I'm like, okay, and Kansas State was one of them. And you've had teams that who've gotten great, but never got to this level. This is completely different.
Yeah.
A program with more losses than any other Power 4 team out there. All of a sudden, and I think what makes it unique, Ross, is how fast it happened. Usually you see teams go, hey, they just got 6 wins. They just got 8 wins.
They're coming.
They're coming for you. This happened literally overnight.
Slick Motorsports.
says,
there you go. You saw that same thing. Northwestern to the Rose Bowl is a great story. That, again, from doormat to being really, really, really good. And I don't think Slick is saying that that's a better. We're trying to find out. This is the best college football turnaround story of our lifetimes by a long ways. Howard Schnellenberger's turnaround at Miami, Mike Rodan. Yeah, you can find some of those, right?
Yeah, I mean,
Alabama, they had a period in the 80s they weren't good, but that's different. Those are all different because it had success. They were Indiana was a perennial doormat.
Let me throw a caveat out there.
Okay.
And this has more to do with Indiana than anything else. I'm with you. I think in my lifetime, greatest turnaround I've ever seen. If they don't sustain, does it lessen it a little bit?
No.
Okay.
No. In fact, so Trav, I think it's the opposite. I think if Indiana becomes the next Alabama, and for the next 10 years, just no matter if it's Curt Cignetti or Brian Ferentz at the helm, they've got Mark Cuban's money, they're controlling the portal, they dominate. We look back at this and we go, Curt Cignetti wasn't the magic sauce. Mendoza wasn't that good. It was the money. Look at it. It's a machine now.
I can show you a lot of instances where people spend machine and don't get, or spend money but don't get.
I know. I'm just saying. I think that I completely agree with you. I think that will be the response. Whereas if this is kind of a one-off, Cignetti goes on to the NFL here next week, or takes a job with, some major university who's going to pay him bajillions, and he takes that success with him. And Mark Cuban does the thing that you just said, starts throwing money, and it doesn't fit. They do hire Brian Ferentz, and Brian Ferentz ends up scoring 6 points a game. Then we look back and we go, remember when Indiana won the freaking title?
I will say this to Curt Cignetti, and I think he'll handle it. But what happens is you can become spoiled very quickly. Meaning you've now turned a dream into expectation. They don't expect you to win it every year, but they expect you to be in the hunt every year. Fans are fickle. And once they taste that, it isn't going to be like the story of Hoosiers. Remember when that little small school went and won the state title? Great story. In today's day and age, you proved you got there. Now you got to stay there.
Yeah. You get one time here. You get one time to play that aw shucks underdog, even though we all know, everybody's been paying attention is like, this team's, they got all the dudes. They're an all-star team of 23-year-old men. But you get to play this tonight. I bet we get that. I bet at some point we see Norman Dale during the broadcast tonight.
Oh, yes. We will see a movie clip. Just as it, at what point during the pregame, halftime, or postgame do we see it's going to be in the pregame?
Yeah. Yeah. What part of the movie do you use?
Locker room speech? Jimmy hitting the jump shot?
When you make this shot,
Ollie
you will make this shot.
Ollie at the free throw line? The kid nobody thought could do it goes and does it. If you're looking for a local full-service jeweler, you can find one right in Ankeny with Fiscus Jewelers at 1701 Southeast Delaware, Suite 250. Noel is, he's one of a kind, man. He's one of a kind, and he offers one of a kind, custom design, one of a kind pieces to fit your budget, engagement and bridal rings, repairs, restringing, resizing, cleaning, polishing. Valentine's Day, less than a month away, folks. Start thinking about that special gift.
Hey, big congratulations to Rob. Says he just got a picture of his new grandson born 30 minutes ago. Congratulations, Rob. Awesome day, man.
Go to Fiscus Jewelers and get your wife like a grandmother's pendant or a grandmother's stone with the baby's birthstone in there. See, I'm thinking ahead. I guarantee Noel can come up with that. He's got everything. It is the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive. For the holidays, bring real taste to the table with Gold Peak Real Brewed Tea. Made with real tea leaves and real cane sugar, Gold Peak delivers a golden, brewed for taste flavor that makes every moment more meaningful. Whether you're gathering with family or friends, celebrate the moments that matter the most, because real connections deserve real refreshment. For your upcoming holiday celebrations, choose Gold Peak Tea and bring real taste to the table.
This is Iowa Wolves basketball. Fast, loud, right on top of the action. Every play hits harder when you're in the building. Now it can hit even bigger. Win cash in a VIP Timberwolves trip from the Iowa Lottery. Play Cash Frenzy for your chance to win instantly. Didn't win? Enter non-winning tickets into the VIP club for a shot at courtside seats with the Iowa Wolves or a Timberwolves getaway.
Rain, sleet, or snow, be ready for winter. Hi, I'm Josh Romick, Service Manager at Willis Lexus. I want to share with you our great service special now through February. Get up to a 15% discount on select services and repairs with a maximum of up to $300. Come see us at Willis Lexus to take advantage of this great deal. Stay warm, and thanks for watching.
Fuel choice that even rivals can agree on? Now that's worth the hype. Pump it up with Unleaded 88.
Hi, it's Noel. At Fiscus Jewelers, we're honored by the fact that our customers continue to come back on purpose, and that trust means everything to us. For years, we've been privileged to be a part of life's most meaningful moments, and we never take that responsibility lightly. We proudly offer the largest inventory in Ankeny, cutting-edge custom designs, including free CAD drawings, and a team that takes the time to get it right. Thank you for choosing us year after year. Fiscus Jewelers, your jeweler for life.
Largest selection of German beer in the world? You'll find it at the Hessen House. From Doppelbocks to Oktoberfest to Hefeweizens and Dunkels, there's no passport needed for the deliciously different beer and food at the Hessen House. So grab your friends and make it a fun night out. The Hessen House, 4th and Court, Des Moines.
Hi, I'm Tom, owner of Central City Liquors. Our customers love us because we offer a large selection at an affordable price. And to keep costs low for you, we don't splurge on fancy promotions and expensive equipment. This commercial is being shot on a phone taped to a stick. Anyway, we are proud to announce our new rewards program that allows customers to save more the more they buy. So don't spend more to pay for fancy commercials. Save at Central City, where we know what's important. I told you we should have used duct tape.
Happy New Year from myself and everyone else over here at Willis Volvo. My New Year's resolution this year is to take better care of my car, and that starts with an oil change. You can come on down for $25 off your service. Visit us online at willisvolvocars.com or give us a call to get scheduled.
Back like a rash you thought was gone. Travis and Ross aren't contagious, but they are addictive. It's the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive.
Of course, today is game day. It's the national championship game, and game day is not complete without something cold to drink. Choose from Coca-Cola, Sprite, Powerade, Dasani, even your favorite energy drink. That you might need energy to get through the game tonight. Monster, Body Armor, all delivered locally by Atlantic Coca-Cola Bottling Company. It's the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive. 515-517-2303 is the number to call. Of course, you've got Miami against Indiana tonight. Ross, usually you would say, you know, it's that Miami defense. Indiana just is loaded on defense. It's loaded on offense. After watching Miami in the Sugar Bowl against Ole Miss, they look susceptible. Now, granted, Mississippi's got a really good offense, but Indiana's just as good. If Miami wins this game tonight, it's going to be with its defense, and it's going to have to – if you were to put an over-under on the number of turnovers that Miami has to force against Indiana, what would you put it at?
That's a good question. And you're probably right that if they're going to win this game, they're going to have a few of those not just interceptions or fumbles, but I think, Travis, you can put into there, like, you get a blocked punt, a blocked field goal, a punt return, a kick return. Yeah, you're probably going to need a combination of those things that would be 3, 4, something like that.
Yeah.
And Indiana doesn't make a lot of those mistakes. I think they lead the nation in turnover margin, if you remember from that stat they threw out during the college football semifinal. So they usually don't make those unforced errors that would be a difference maker for sure.
Because Indiana hasn't lost this year, you bring up a good point. Indiana doesn't beat itself, right?
No.
I mean, they're just, even in high-pressure situations like we saw against Iowa, like we saw against Penn State, they don't think they're out of the game. And if something bad does happen, they regroup pretty quick.
Did you have a number in your head? Because a couple people have wrote in 3 on the chat. They think that 3 of those would be enough. I think Indiana could still win with 3 things like that, but
now if it's just straight turnovers, 2 or 3, depending on where and when they happen.
Yeah, that too.
But what you bring up is a good point. Or the special teams. What's a kickoff return do? What's a punt return do? What's a block field goal, a block punt do?
Yeah.
And those are things that are harder to predict than even turnovers. I mean, but Mendoza's so solid. And I will give this to Carson Beck. Besides not going to class, at least Miami, who hasn't been in this position for a long time, has a quarterback that's from a leadership standpoint, from a stability standpoint, having been there with Georgia pays dividends. It does. I mean, you can't toss that out. And I'm not going to throw out home field advantage. I know it's a neutral field, but I mean, Miami's playing in its home stadium, which I think is an advantage.
Oh yeah, in several ways. Crowd, I don't know. I don't know what to expect with that tonight. I don't know if there's someplace that you can find that information as to who's been sniping up these tickets.
But what'd you say? 7.5 point? Yeah, 7.5 point favorite is Indiana.
You sent that to me.
Yeah, it's 7.5.
Okay, all right.
Which means that's on the road technically. I mean, if this was a true neutral site game or at Indiana, you're probably talking close to a 10-point favorite. Here's what I want. I want Indiana to win, but I'm not going to sit there and be screaming at my television, standing up. I want a good game. I want an entertaining game that we get 4 quarters out of. I don't want to blow. I want to watch the last college football game of the year and go, man, that was just fun to watch on a Monday night. That's what I'm asking for.
Yeah. And honestly, Trav, I won't hate this if Indiana gets to have a parade. If Indiana gets to, and what I mean by that is if this is a 21-point game with 2 minutes to play, and they're able to spend those last 5 minutes of the broadcast just kind of soaking in this story, because I'm telling you, it's one time. It's one time you get to be this. Oh, look at this,
the darling.
So you might as well just soak that up and let that, and then we all get sick of it. And by tomorrow, we move on, because there's a Cubs thing that's going to happen here if Indiana wins this.
Now, also taking place in Miami while teams are gathered, getting ready to play for the national championship, is the future of the college football playoff. And the Big Ten and the SEC are at a stalemate. It's like they cannot decide. The Big Ten's sticking to its guns. It would go to a 16-team playoff with the agreement that everybody else agrees it goes to 24 in 3 years. The SEC and everybody else is like, nah, we think 16 is the good number. Friday is the supposed deadline. If they don't reach it by Friday, supposedly, then it's going to be 12 again next year. I think the Big Ten's, knowing that it has its trump card, I don't mean that in a political sense, is just going to say, we're going to hold out for what we want.
When you say they have their trump card, you mean what?
They can't. The SEC can't dictate this. It is the SEC and the Big Ten negotiating this. And they can't be bullied by the Big 12. They can't be bullied by the ACC. Those two are, and I guarantee you that's driving those two conferences nuts. They get no say in this. The Big Ten and the SEC, because they all signed a memorandum of understanding that everything's going to be dictated by the Big Ten and the SEC. I see the Big Ten going, this is what we believe in. This is what we're going to hold out for. I could be wrong.
I mean, the SEC is going to do the same thing. And you're right. It's not. They're definitely pawns in the game, but having the backing of those other conferences does put some pieces on the chessboard for you.
But the Big Ten going, if they win tonight, they've won the last 3 national titles. A lot of people think the Big Ten is now the premier football conference. This is all about money, folks.
Yeah, but that perception, you nailed it there at the end. That perception of the Big Ten being a better conference, or that perception, the fact that they've won the national title the last couple of years, if they win tonight, bottom line, SEC won't be national titles.
Nope.
Won't take home the national title again. That doesn't matter. None of this stuff that we see or think matters. It's the money. It's the contracts. ESPN is a big player in it. I do think, Travis, that the SEC, even if the Big Ten, even if Indiana wins tonight, the SEC still seems to hold most of the cards in this conversation. They've got such an important component with the media. We're constantly beat up around the country with how great the SEC is. That clip of Lane Kiffin, come on, different level. We might as well be in a different league. That's not, you don't get to, there's an entire group of the country that feels that way. I don't know. I think I like the 12-team playoff. I thought this was fun. And even with the 12-team playoff, we saw 50-point games or whatever it was in that opening week. So this system isn't perfect.
That's why I think the Big Ten can hold out and say, well, we play 12 games next year or 12 teams next year. So be it.
Yeah.
Because they want to get rid of the conference championship games and go to a 24-team playoff and do it that way. But that's could be decided this week. It'll be interesting to see if it does. I use the word stalemate. We didn't get to this, but I think it's worth talking about, and that is going back to last Friday night. Iowa wrestling. And we had a debate on the show whether Iowa would win 3 matches against Penn State. Folks, they won 1 match. They were blown out at home. Blown out by Penn State. Penn State had 2 major decisions. They had 1 pin. Iowa's lone win was a decision. I think it was a 1-point win.
Yep.
And I don't know if you're on social media and you follow sports and you follow Iowa wrestling, it was a loud contingent Friday night, even on into Saturday. I don't know how Tom Brand survives this. I really don't. Maybe I'm crazy. You lose to Iowa State, first time in forever. You get embarrassed at home on national television by Penn State. And you're right, Ross. Penn State is at a different level.
It's unreal. Every wrestler is just incredible.
But what does Iowa not... I mean, I was on par facility-wise. I was on par financially. It's not on par in the way it's coaching, attacking, and going into these.
Preparation. The difference, the talent gap between these individual wrestlers, Travis, should not be this great. It should not be this dominant as what we saw Friday night. There's something about the preparation. There's something about how Cale Sanderson is able to get guys ready that Tom Brands has lost. I like the idea about I love this conversation of Tom Brands them moving, because I think the right thing then is who is going to chase down Cale Sanderson? Who can do that? Because that's the job you're talking about. What's Tom Brands not doing? He's not beating Penn State. That's the thing that everybody's mad about. Okay, so you got to bring in somebody that's going to beat Penn State. Who's that guy? Maybe it's Doug Schwab. I don't know, man. What happened Friday night was, like the worst case scenario.
It was.
Because
the only thing that could have been worse is if they wouldn't have won a match.
Yep. Which it was close to that. Ferrari loses. Keeter gets beat. It was bad. So I don't know, man. I don't know. I know that they're not as good as Penn State, that Penn State continues to separate that talent gap. It should not be as wide as it is right now. You've got other things happening inside of the Iowa wrestling room, it seems like, with guys leaving and these stories that are coming out about the way they were treated. If the rumors are true, the Brands kind of mishandling some injuries and personalities and things like that. You had Bo Bassett, who was, there was millions think of how much ink was wasted and how much money was allegedly going to be spent to bring in a kid that then decided this wasn't the right place for him. It adds up. The Iowa State thing, this Penn State loss, the way that this Penn State loss went down. And Travis, you said something there that I don't know about for sure. And I think you're right, but I don't know for sure that Iowa is on par, above, below where Penn State is with as far as facilities and money and things like that. I don't know. I mean, you look at the rankings, and again, you see Iowa's got a bunch of dudes in the top 10. Those guys in wrestling, those guys should be able to go out and compete with anybody in the nation. Unless you've got a weight class where the number one guy is just dominant and a freak and pushing away from everybody else in the class, which happens occasionally. Penn State's got a couple of dudes in that category, but not every weight. And every weight you watch it, and there's a style. It looks like the Penn State guys come out there calm, aggressive, and the Iowa guys are just on eggshells out there for some reason. Even when they get up, it's not that Iowa attacking style, that brand style of wrestling that we saw when we were kids, where it was 6 minutes of hell. They were going to attack you from the minute the whistle went off. An Iowa wrestler gets a takedown now, and it's almost like Kirk Ferentz football. Get on top and just squeeze, and just flatten them out. We're not going for bonus points. We're not trying to put ourselves in any danger. Get the win. Let's get out of here 3-2, and we'll go home and it's not and then you watch Penn State just push and push and push and push, going for bonus points, going for back points, going for trying to tech fall you.
They're gonna torture you.
They're going to beat you up, and they did it over and over and over. That's frustrating. And Hawkeye fans that are used to seeing it happen the other way and hoped that maybe Friday night would be a little bit different in some way.
Is the standard at Iowa being met?
No.
And that's what you have to look at.
Who can?
I don't know if anybody can.
Yeah.
Because Cale Sanderson is the standard. And there's a wide...
Real quickly, and I'm not sure if you saw this. Do you know fake Bob Vanderbilt? So I'll bring this up because if and when they decide that they're ready to be done with Tom Brands, mark my words, Rostradamus, this will be the story that will come out, and it'll be like, oh my gosh, they were always. Do you guys know the story about the?
Oh yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
It's gross. It's gross, but yeah. All right.
Justin, did you have a good weekend? The Seahawks, look at you all Seahawk decked out.
Got the pennants up there. I'm all geared up. I'm ready to go.
You should be.
The week of anxiety-riddled sleep begins. This is what I tweeted out. What'd you say?
This is your week of anxiety-riddled.
Oh, I was a nervous wreck. I was a nervous wreck last week too. But the Rams, that's a Super Bowl team. I mean, I think the Rams, if they beat Seattle in Seattle, they win the Super Bowl. In my opinion, I like them better than the Patriots and the Broncos. Now with Knicks, of course, out.
I almost said I hate saying things like this, but it feels to me like that NFC Championship game is the winner of that is going to win. But New England's tough. I shouldn't
They're
just
good, and I like Vrabel a lot too.
No.
Like Patriots would make me nervous too if Seattle makes it to the Super Bowl. I'm not saying I think Seattle would steamroll anyone in the AFC. It's just that Rams team is so good. Stafford at whatever 35 is an MVP caliber player, should win MVP. But I actually have some corrections for you guys today.
Wow.
Yeah,
finally.
There we go.
Wow.
See if you pass the test.
So first and foremost, it is Fernando Mendoza, not Carlos Mendoza, Travis.
I said Carlos?
Yeah, in the first hour.
I did?
Yeah.
I didn't hear that either.
Yeah.
I was watching on Twitter and I had to scroll back and be like, I didn't hear that right, did I? And yeah,
God, that's bad. That's really bad. That's really
Was
bad.
Carlos Mendoza, was that the comedian?
I don't know.
No, Carlos Mencia was his name. You don't know the Carlos Mencia story, Justin?
Never heard that name in my life.
No kidding. He was he was like the biggest comic in the world for a period of time. Early 2000s.
That's crazy.
He was enormous. Had his own show on Comedy Central called The Mind of Mencia. It was like an SNL type of Key and Peele type of skit show. Joe Rogan ruined his career.
Carlos Mendoza, former Mets manager and a former Yankees bench coach.
Carlos Mencia, famous notorious joke stealer. And that's and Joe Rogan went on stage one time and called him out. During his set, Joe Rogan goes on stage, grabs the mic, and is like, "You're a joke stealer. This is so-and-so's joke. That joke belonged to this guy." Ruined him.
And you say early 2000s. I mean, that's like I was watching.
You were a baby.
No,
you were a baby.
I was watching. No,
you were watching
Mad
Barney.
TV.
You were watching
Barney too.
Caillou.
Oh, dude, I remember Caillou. That one was weird though. Like even as a kid, it was weird.
Caillou's bad. I didn't let the kids watch Caillou.
All right, so I called Fernando Mendoza Carlos Mendoza.
And then
don't remember doing that.
During you were talking about the Bills Broncos game, if it was a catch or not. You called the coach Mike Vrabel. You said Coach Vrabel's upset about this one.
So names got me.
Yeah, just names got mixed up there.
Yeah.
And also it was a catch, not an interception.
Not according to the officials.
The dude's knees go down, his back goes down, and then the ball comes down.
In the process of completing the cut.
Did you see, though, during the Rams and Bears game, how the same exact thing happened and they called it a catch for the Rams? And even, I don't remember if it was Tirico or whoever was like, oh, Bills fans are going to be upset.
Right. I think Tirico's really good. I don't normally care about announcers. Tirico, there were several times last night in that broadcast. I wish I would have written down notes. There were a few times he dropped things. I was like, man, I really like Mike Tirico.
That's why he's number one in that booth, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't disagree with you.
And then you always get a good from Collinsworth, oh boy.
Now, Collinsworth I could do without. That, speaking of old stuff that has not aged well, that clip of Collinsworth from when he's a bachelor. Trav, you've seen this, right?
It's like
an inside.
I'll send it to you. I'll find it. It's crazy.
It gets worse and worse and worse. Like a 3-minute clip or 2-minute clip, and you go, "Oh boy, oh boy." Yeah. You're like, "Oh my god." Can't believe he didn't get canceled from it, but he's
So So names were not my thing today. Did I do another name? Or is that
No, and those were just the two mistakes I found. And then I had some fun just topics here because you were talking about how that Caleb Williams throw is going to get kind of diminished now, which is true. And then I was sitting there, I was like, okay, without looking it up, what are some of the like greatest forgotten plays I can remember? And number one, because I'm a Seahawks fan, and I'm sure a lot of people don't remember this, but the two plays right before the famous interception at the goal line in the Super Bowl, Russell Wilson throws this huge pass to Jermaine Kearse that he's on the ground and it bobbles in his hands and he picks it up and looks like he's going to walk into the end zone. And the guy who makes the tackle is the guy who ends up making the interception in Butler too. So that's a forgotten play.
Justin, one that I absolutely had forgot about. And I remember, I have that imagery in my head though. I know exactly what you're talking about.
And then I did have to look up how far of a touchdown this was, but I did remember it was Larry Fitzgerald's touchdown that gave the Cardinals the lead over the Steelers. I remember it being like a big touchdown. It was 64 yards he ran. Sprints 64 yards for a touchdown, but it's forgotten about because 2 plays later, Roethlisberger to Holmes in the corner in the tiptoe catch.
Thanks, Justin. Those are the types of games. I knew that we'd have a couple people that would have a few of those things in their brain of like, oh yeah, I remember this would have been a historic play if the team had won. And unfortunately, that's the case for Caleb Williams. Bears fans will remember it, just like you as a Seattle Seahawks fan remember those things. Bears fans will remember it, but in football lore, it went from an all-timer to a footnote.
For Hawkeye fans, I'm forgetting who was the wide receiver that Beathard made that huge throw to. Was it Smith?
Smith in the Big Ten Championship.
Yep, that'll be a play I think Hawkeye fans will remember, but it gets forgotten about because Michigan State then goes on that hour-long drive.
Hey, folks, got plans tonight? You better be watching the national championship game, but you can make those plans better with a stop at Central City Liquors and drink throughout the entire game in the comfort of your own home. Fantastic prices, huge selection, and specials on your favorites. Central City Liquors, celebrate the moment, which is the national title game tonight. Justin, thanks for hopping in and giving the corrections.
Of course.
Get better at names. Ross, we'll talk to you later on. Everybody enjoy your Monday. If you're off today, congratulations. Take it all in. It is the Rush Radio Show powered by Willis Automotive.
Start spreading the news, cause it's time to buy booze, and there's only one place to be. You can see all your friends, the good times never end, unless you're just loitering. It's Central City, we can make your dreams come true. No guarantee your dreams will come true. Central City, all this booze is waiting for you. Look at all this booze.
Hi, Noel from Fiscus Jewelers. Thinking about popping the question? Take their breath away with a diamond you can trust. Rare and forever natural diamonds. Thoughtfully selected and pre-screened using advanced technology. If you don't see exactly what you're looking for, we'll custom design it together. Our experienced team is here to help you create something truly meaningful. And let's not forget about the guys. We proudly offer the largest selection of men's wedding bands around. Fiscus Jewelers, your jeweler for life.
Drive into 2026 in style with a brand new Cadillac from Willis Cadillac. We have a large selection of EVs, and you can get 2.9% APR to 60 months on Optic, Lyric, and Vistic. And for eligible Costco members, you can get up to $1,250 in incentives on select Optic, Lyric, and Vistic. We have up to $2,000 in bonus cash for owners of qualifying non-Cadillac vehicles. Stop into our showroom or check us out online at williscadillac.com.
Iowa Wolves basketball. Fast, loud, right on top of the action. Every play hits harder when you're in the building. Now it can hit even bigger. Win cash in a VIP Timberwolves trip from the Iowa Lottery. Play Cash Frenzy for your chance to win instantly. Didn't win? Enter non-winning tickets into the VIP club for a shot at courtside seats with the Iowa Wolves or a Timberwolves getaway.
Game on, keep your edge with Body Armor Sports Drink. Bold flavors, electrolytes, and hydration that goes the distance. Grab Body Armor before the grind, during the game, and after the win. Body Armor Sports Drink. Hydration that's real and better for you. Pick up Body Armor Sports Drink on your next grocery store run or convenience store trip.
Missing a quality, home-cooked meal? You know, the kind Mom used to make? Lucky for you, we found her recipe book. Welcome to the High Life. Welcome to the Champagne of Bars.
Every business has priorities, and Priority One Heating and Cooling is no different. As a service provider, we prioritize quality air conditioners and furnaces that will keep your home at your comfort level year-round. As a small business, we prioritize doing things the right way and treating people fairly. As a truly local business, we prioritize our community. As a veteran-owned business, we prioritize duty and commitment. For big business service with local value, trust your home to the place where you are always Priority One.
Back to the rush. Strong opinions, weak filters, and just enough sense to stay on the air. It's the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive.